all of that spawns from a lack of knowledge. And so one thing that I like to do is I just start off with simple things, and I show how things are just so backwards.
Okay, let's stop right there. Let's say you're sitting there around the coffee machine. You got a 10-minute break. And I'm sitting there going, I hope we arrest every Muslim and kill them. Nuke every country over there. Who cares if we get rid of the Bill of Rights as long as we rat them Muslims out? What do you say to me?
Well, I call you an ignorant buffoon. That's what I call you first. But what I would say is look at all these people that work with us, because it's a very diverse workforce within the government. Is that person over there, you think he's out to get you? Is he that wolf in sheep's clothing? Do you think? Because we can go back to McCarthyism if you want. Well, then you have to explain McCarthyism, because they don't know what McCarthyism is. But that's the type of thing. And then you start pointing out, well, why are we spending this much for this? Why are we doing this for that? And you start breaking down how wasteful government is. And then you start going as to why is it wasteful? What are we doing? What are we getting involved in? And when you start going down into the policy of what we're doing, what we're getting involved in, what we're sticking our nose in, they're like, holy moly, you're right. Like, why in the hell did we invade Libya? Why? You know, and then you start to tell them why, and there you go. The light bulb.
What do they say when you bring up the fact that Al-Qaeda was created by our own government?
Yeah, I get a lot of backlash for it. But that's the thing. And then, you know,
what did they think about Fox News and Anwar al-Awlaki, number 3 in Al-Qaeda, hanging out secretly with the Secretary of the Army?
Well, and I asked that question. You tell me why that happens, and if you can give me a legitimate answer, I would be glad. I'll take it. Sure. You just
I'd love to hear a legitimate reason.
Me too, but I've yet to find one, because they can't. They just
listen, Joe. I wish every day it was just some Muslim terrorist, because I'm not scared of that. It's super creepy knowing that the people that run our government think they can just take $1 billion+ bucks out of private accounts and keep it and go on TV and say they're, you know, I mean, because the media calls me and they go, you just want to say it's the government because you're so scared that it could be Muslims. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, it's 1,000 times scarier that our government is run by a bunch of psychos.
Yeah, and how do you expect psychos to police themselves? They're not going to police themselves. All these ethics committees and everything else.
Run by them.
It's all BS. It's all bunk. The only way that they get policed is if we police them. The only way the Constitution has any teeth is if we give it teeth. If we don't give it teeth, the Constitution is
no, right. We have to animate it. It's the animating contest of liberty. Okay, in 60 seconds, Joe, we got to have you back up. Really appreciate you sending us so many things that are public. And it's like, wow. And then we put it out, and if we put out some moderately big piece of news, it's like in hundreds of newspapers, but anything really bombshell, like here's the FEMA camps, it's proven, government websites, here's the contracting, military says the American people are, the red enemy. And then it'll get no attention, but at least in the real alternative media for now, it'll get attention. But 60 seconds, any closing comments about these documents and what this means?
Well, it's simply this. Now is the time to make a stand, to draw the line in the sand. You're seeing it for yourself, folks. You got the documents here. Everything is .gov, right from the horse's mouth. It's time to use these documents to your advantage. Read them. It's dry as a bone, but read them anyway and educate yourself. Look up the acronyms. Look up what this stuff means. It's all public information. Nothing is secret. This is not secret stuff. It's public on the street. And it's all available if you take the time and do the research. So a little less Dancing with the Stars, a little more going into this and reading about what our government is doing. And, thomasloc.gov, go to the Library of Congress, look up what these bills say, and start holding our elected officials responsible for their actions.
Well, you're right. I mean, I remember 12 years ago learning that U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1528, paragraph B, they later changed it because they got public attention, but the old versions are there, said that as long as it was research, they could kill people with chemical, biological, radiological testing. Now, we know they did all that, but the fact that they had a law to do it, it's like, whoa, the level of evil. And I remember hearing a talk show host talk about that like 12, 13 years ago and stop in my car and writing it down and looking it up on the government site and going, they can kill me for no reason? Right. I mean, it just shows how the naivete of the public and the laziness and the complexity of things has brought this in on us. But the pendulum's swinging back the other way. Joe, amazing interview. I'm going to end the show, and I look forward to having you and your wife as official guests back on the official big radio show. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime, Alex, anytime.
Wow. Well, you talk about pointing out the emperor's new clothes. You talk about the little 3-year-old, pointing and saying, hey, the emperor's not wearing anything from that parable. If you don't know that parable, look it up, folks. It's incredible. I have been to the urban warfare drills. I have seen it for myself. And what I haven't seen is in this slow buildup towards tyranny, this acceleration. The globalists, the bureaucrats, they are like an anthill that's been disturbed of fire ants. They are teeming around like busy little bees right now, or little ants, getting all this ready. And in the contracts, they're not building camps and writing manuals and getting it ready. They are getting ready to activate them. They are flipping the switches on. And to see that happening is incredible. And look at what's happening in the rest of the world. New wars, new lies about WMDs, new lies for old, imploding currencies, all of this. And cops being completely brainwashed against the population. I mean, it's here. What Germany faced, what Russia faced, what so many other countries faced, we're now facing it. But our forebears foresaw this and tried to warn us. We have the Second Amendment. I don't want to go there. We have the First Amendment. Let's use it right now, because there is a war on for your mind, and this is an info war. I want to leave you with a clip of footage I shot on a VHS camera in 1999 in Oakland, California, as the Marines practiced putting Americans in a concentration camp, in this case for protesting for food during a depression. They knew what they were going to do a long time ago. God willing, I'll see you back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central on the radio, and back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central, at Infowars Nightly News.
Attention, attention. American forces are here to help. Remain calm. We will not tolerate civil disobedience.
Well, I think terrorism is being practiced on the residents of the city of Oakland, because many of the retired teachers, retired military people have informed me that they understand what's going on, and it's not anything that relates to humanitarian training whatsoever. This is a psychological, as we in the research community say, this is a psyops. They're preparing people for what is coming, not what is being presented today.
So you're saying they're preparing people to accept it with incrementalism?
That is correct. Like the old frog example. You put the frog in the water and you just gradually continue to raise the heat on the water until the frog is cooked. And that's the way it works. The problem is that the local people in general, just will not take their heads out of the sand. I'm going to tell everyone I can, listen, we have a serious problem.
And it's called a police state.
It's called a police state.